Hi, it's Karen from the North Suburban YMCA, and I am here again to take you through the Improve Your Balance class. So, come join me. As you'll see, I've got a couple of dining room chairs and a dining room table to help me for balance if I need it, and also to use as apparatus as we are doing our workout today. So, we are going to start with just a very simple forward and backward walk. So, I want you to take a couple steps forward and a couple steps backward, hanging onto your chair or maybe your table. And you can take as many steps as you can in the space that allows. However, I do not want you to be walking backwards if it doesn't feel safe for you, if it doesn't feel comfortable for you. So only walk forwards if that's what's right for you. You could come down, turn around, and walk forwards again. And then turn around and walk forwards again. When you're walking, when you're out walking, whether you're walking forwards or backwards during this class or when you're out walking forwards in the rest of the world, I want you to have your head held up so you're looking about 10 feet in front of you when you walk forwards, and then holding on to help you balance while you walk backwards. But while you're walking forward, I want you to look 10 feet out in front of you, because as you're walking forward, you don't want your head down the whole time. You want your head up out in front of you. That helps you with your balance. Your head's not then pulling you forward. And you can see something out in front of you that you might trip over, and that way you'll see it in advance and have time to prepare for it. So, in addition to having your head held high, I also want your chest up, your shoulders down, and your core engaged or your belly tight. The way to do that would be to use that TH sound. If you were to make it sound like you were saying the word think, TH gets your transverse abdominals engaged. Those are the muscles that pull your abdomen towards your spine, and they support your low back, and they help you to stay straight. They also keep your organs in place. They give you less low back pain because you're stronger in the front. So, forward and backward is a great way to get warmed up to start this class. All right, after we've done forward and backward, we are then going to turn and walk sideways. So, with your chest up, your shoulders down, and your belly tight, then walk sideways. When you're walking sideways, you want to make sure that your knees are soft. And you can walk along the whole length of the table if you have it there, or you can just take one step to one side, one step to the other side. Your knees are soft, your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. That TH sound, you can be holding on. If you feel like you don't need to hold on, that's okay, but I do want you to make sure that you always have something to grab if you need it, so that you don't trip and fall. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. And again, step tap sideways, or you can take a few steps. And then you can take a few steps back. Working on balance. I want you to start to think also about the four corners on the bottoms of your feet. One corner on either side of the ball of your foot, and one corner on either side of the heel of your foot. And then as you're walking, I want you to think about those four corners on the bottom of your foot. And you'll notice once you're on one foot, you think about those four corners, and then when you're on the other foot, you think about those four corners. Again, your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Now, the next exercise we're going to do is going to be a grapevine, where you're going to step in front with one foot, and then behind. So we're going to do it in the small space that we have here, where we would just go, take your left foot, put it in front of your right, bring your right foot out to the side, then take your right foot, put it behind your left, and bring your left foot out to the side. So it's a step tap, but you're going in front and then behind. Now, usually in class, for those of you who take this class regularly at the North Suburban YMCA, you all do it along our lovely railing along the mirror there, so you can take a few steps. But you may not have a big space at home, and that's okay. In front, and then behind, and in front. And now we're going to change it, where you take the other foot in front now. So if you were stepping in front with your left foot, now I want you to do it with your right. You're going to go in front with your right foot, and then behind with your left foot. And then in front with your right foot, and then behind with your left foot. Now, with the sideways walking, we were trying to kind of keep our hips forward, thinking about the four corners on the bottoms of those feet. But when you are doing this grapevine move, where you step in front and then behind, you can actually be a little bit more on those front two corners of your feet on the ball of your foot. Go in front with the other leg, and then behind. And you've got that thing to hold on to should you need it. But without, that's just fine. You don't have to hold on. But if you've got something there and you need it, by all means use it. Front and behind. Front and behind. All right, now what I'd like you to do, you're just going to stand in place, have your chair or your table beside you, or you can still have it in front of you. I'm going to do this one facing you. And basically what you're going to do now is just tap in front with one foot and then the other foot. I've still got my chair there for balance. I want you to white knuckle it, but I want it to be there should you need it. You're tapping in front and tapping in front. So here's where we again think about those four corners on the bottom of your foot. Four corners and four corners of the foot that you're standing on. The other foot is touching in front. Now we're going to change it and touch behind. So you're reaching across and touching behind. Only as far as you comfortably reach behind. It may not be very far, and that's okay, but we're working on balancing on the leg that we're standing on as we tap back. Other foot. Tap back. Tap back. You can do it in a small range of motion and stay close, or you could reach really far. We're working on your balance, so if you can do this well balanced and reach really far, no problem. That may not be a range of motion for you, and that is okay. We're just practicing your balance. Of course, your chest is up, your shoulders are down, and your belly is tight the whole time. Think about balancing. Think about balancing. Now we're going to change it and bring that leg out to the side. This one might be a little bit easier. If you're facing your chair or your table or your countertop, especially if it's a countertop. You're going to run into it with this foot. However, you can do a few on this leg and then turn around on this leg. So knees are soft as you're doing this activity. Think about the four corners on the bottom of the foot that you're standing on. Again, with your chest up, your shoulders down, and your belly tight. Those knees are soft, they're not locked, and you're bringing that leg out to the side. You're holding on to the table, holding on to a wall. Again, you just want enough space that you don't kick something as you're doing it. But let's march your legs. You might have felt it a little bit on your side. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. All right, the next activity that we have is a leg extension. So stand sideways to your table or your chair, whatever apparatus you have. Keep that chest up, shoulders down, belly tight. You're going to pick up one leg, stand on the other leg. The leg that you're standing on has a soft knee, and you think about those four corners on the bottom of it. Then you're going to straighten the leg you lifted, bend it, and you can either keep it up and straighten it and bend it, or you can lift it up, straighten it, bend it, put it back down. Lift it up, straighten it, bend it, put it back down. You choose what's best for you. And as we all know, you're working out at home, I'm working out at home. There are other people who live in our homes, so I will speak loudly enough and clearly enough that you can hear me. But there might be somebody in the kitchen cooking, and that's okay. There's no need to be sorry about that. We're all figuring it out from home. Let's do the other side now. That's my son, Jack. Thank you, Jack. Now let's do the other side. So you can keep that same arm holding on, or I might move over and hold on to the wall to help you for balance. Change it up. So remember, you can hold it up and bend and straighten, or you can lift it up, straighten it, bend it, put it back down. The leg you're standing on is soft. Think about the four corners on the bottom of that foot. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Remember, this is where you want to get your leverage from to help you balance. Up and down. Practicing that balance. All right, let's march it again. Now we're going to do our clocks. So, I'm going to move this chair over just a bit and in place for squats later. But we're going to do our clocks. So you're going to tap in front at 12 o'clock, or back up a little bit so you can see my whole foot. 12 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30, so on down the line. 3:30 to 4. So you're bringing that leg around in a circle until you go straight back. Then you're going to do the other leg. I'm going to move a little bit so I have some more room over here. Chest up, shoulders down, belly tight. And you're going to tap at 12 o'clock and then 11:30, 11. And so on down the line until you come all the way around until you're tapping straight back. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to switch feet again, and you're going to start at 6 o'clock and work your way up to 5:30, all the way around till you get back to 1 o'clock. What are you thinking about? Soft knee, tight thigh and glute, 4 corners on the bottom of that foot that you're standing on, torso tall, shoulders down, belly tight, and then of course if you can count as you do it and go through your o'clocks, great. Now we're starting back with the other leg. Tap back, and then work your way up through the clock to 7, and then 8, soft knee, tight thigh, tight glute, tight abdomen, chest up, shoulders down. Think about those 4 corners on the bottom of the foot you're standing on. Try to evenly distribute your weight on those 4 corners. Good, march your legs. All right, next on the agenda, Marby's favorite, the lunge. I will stand this way, have my table as my balance right now so that I can have a nice long stride. When you are lunging, you're going to keep your feet hip-width apart so that when you step back, you're still aligned with your hips. You're not trying to bring that foot one behind the other, that they're still aligned. And you're going to step back as far as you comfortably can. Notice your back heel is up. So if you know that lunges hurt you, maybe this is just what you do when you practice balancing. Position, back heel up, and the front knee bent, and you're just working on balance from here. If you can lunge, you can bend both knees, come down, and up. In a range of motion that doesn't hurt you. If you have bad knees, Earl, then you do not want to be doing this if it hurts. You go in a range of motion that works for you. I would like you to go as deep as you can, but does that mean you have to touch the floor? By all means, no. Notice your chest needs to be up, your shoulders need to be down, your belly needs to be tight. And you just do as many lunges as you can. Then you take a break, and maybe you do a few more, or you switch legs. So you switch legs when you're ready. Torso tall, shoulders down, belly tight. And I'm going to switch legs now. The other leg goes back. Your hip width apart. Your back heel is up. Your chest is up. Your shoulders are down. Your belly is tight. And again, maybe it didn't hurt to do it the other way, but it would hurt to do it this way. Just get in balance like this. 4 corners of this foot, 2 corners of that foot. Or you can add in lunges. Again, you need to do what works for you. If you can go all the way to the floor, terrific. If not, don't. Some other things to keep in mind when you're lunging. Make sure your front knee does not go in front of your front toes. Make sure your torso stays as erect as you can. Make sure if it hurts, you stop. And you only do a range of motion that works for you. If you fatigue, switch legs. And come on back up, march your legs. If you need a break and you need to sit down, take it. At any point through class, you can hit pause and you can be done, or you can take a break and join us again. All right, after the lunge, we're going to do an arabesque. An arabesque does not require you to do the skater pose where you're leaned over, but the arabesque is working your glutes in the back to lift the leg behind you. We're going to alternate legs. You're going to squeeze with your glute to lift the leg behind you. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Try to not lean forward as you do this. Try to not lock the knee of the leg you're standing on. You're lifting that heel behind you. Lifting from the hip. If you want, you can slow it down and try to balance. When you lose your balance, you put your foot down. The other leg. Stand there as long as you comfortably can and balance. Put it down and do the other leg. those hips aligned, keep your core engaged, your chest up, your shoulders down, and your belly tight. You can bring it up and hold it. You can bring it up and do little pulses. We're trying to strengthen the back and stretch the front. And you're just alternating legs. You don't need to lift that leg high. I want you to try, though, to not lean forward. All right, march your legs. Okay. Next, we're going to do our chair squat. So, if you have only one chair, take that chair, and you're going to put the backs of your shins. I would call the backs of your shins. There's your calves. Put your calves on the chair. Make sure your feet are hip width apart. You're going to squat down and make sure your knees don't go toward each other. I'm going to demonstrate it from the side because we also want to make sure your knees don't go in front of your toes. So, if you've got yourself lined up on that chair, you're going to send your tush back towards the chair, keep your knees behind your toes the whole time, and then you're going to stand back up. Now, if you have arms on your chair, and you need those arms to help you lower down, and then to help you push back up, no problem. Use those arms. That is not cheating. Same if you need to push off your thighs. Push off those thighs. That's not a problem either. Push off those thighs. Another thing you could do would be to have that chair near your table, and you could line yourself up, sit back on your chair, and then use the table to help you push up. You might even be able, if your table's really sturdy, you could use that table and pull yourself up using that table. Or, if you have somebody at home with you, if you're not alone right now, you can have that person stand in front of you, hold on to their hands, and they can help you come up and down. As you go down, again, you want to send that tush back so your knees stay behind your toes the whole time. And I'm going to turn so you can see me head on. You want to make sure that your knees don't go together as you go down. That would be going towards the inside two corners of your foot. You don't want that because that's going to strain your hips and your knees. You also don't want to roll to the outside two corners. See how my knees come out? That puts stress on my knees in a different way. So keep those four corners on the bottoms of your feet, and then you want to keep those knees pointing straight ahead. And you go up and down in that chair as many times as you comfortably can. This is an incredibly functional exercise because throughout our day we need to be able to sit and stand, and we must be able to do it for one of the most important functions of daily life, just using the bathroom. You need to be able to get up and down off of that toilet. So practice. The more you practice this, the stronger you will get in your thighs and your glute. And this is a core exercise too. Keep that belly button to your spine and use your abdomen to help keep you stable as you go up and down. Remember, knees pointing straight ahead, knees staying behind your toes, and just doing as many as you comfortably can to fatigue. If you've already hit fatigue, you get to stop. If you hit fatigue a while ago and you started again, great. But I want you to do this as many times as you can to fatigue. All right, while we're sitting here, join me having a seat, and we're going to do a few stretches. So I'm going to move back far enough so you can see my feet. We're going to do the figure four piriformis stretch first, and you're stretching. How does that help me with balance? Well, when we're tight, it impacts how we stand and how we're able to move. So I want you to sit as tall as you can on your chair. I'm going to move a little bit towards the front of my chair, and you're going to take one ankle and put it up on the other thigh. You may look at me and go, I can't get my foot up on my thigh. That's okay. If you can't do that, straighten your other leg out some, and then take your ankle and put it on the other ankle. And work your way up over time. You might be able to get it to your shin. You might be able to get it near your knee. You might be able to bend this knee a little. And then eventually, I just hurt my knee now. Eventually, you'll be able to get your ankle up on your thigh. All right, let's switch sides. You're going to take that other leg and you're going to put your ankle up on your thigh. And remember, if you can't do that, then put it down near your ankle. Have the supporting leg out straight. Then you work your way up that shin until you can sit with that ankle on your thigh. You'll notice one side might be tighter than the other. That's okay. This thigh sits up much higher than this thigh does. This one goes a little bit lower. So for me, this side's more flexible. However, sometimes this side actually feels tighter. So we're on our second leg now. You're going to sit up tall. If you find that this is an easy stretch for you, I'm going to turn my chair. So got my second leg up. If you find that this stretch is easy for you, Then what you're going to do is from your hip joint, you're going to gently come forward. This stretch is not easy for me, so I can't come forward very far. But people like Connie can lay down on their thigh and push their leg flat. Good for them. That's their flexibility level. What are we stretching when we do this? Let's go to our first leg again. So put your first leg back up. We are stretching your piriformis muscle. We're stretching the outside of your hip. You're stretching the outside of your thigh. You might feel it a lot on the inside of your thigh. You're stretching your knee. And if you're someone who needs to stand a lot, or let's say you're at home now and you're walking a lot because you're not at the Y exercising, if you're out walking a lot and you get tightness or soreness in your low back, you can sit and do this stretch, and it should help to loosen up that low back area. Your torso's tall, your shoulders are down. If you find yourself starting to round, maybe take a break or switch legs. Let's all switch legs now. Go back to your second leg now. One thigh with your chest up, shoulders down, and belly tight. Again, we're stretching out the outside of the hip on the other leg now. You might feel it down the outside of your leg. On the inside of your leg, you might feel it around your knee. Depends on your flexibility level. The objective is to sit on the bottom of your pelvis. Stretch out that hip area. Okay, the other stretch that we can do while seated is a hamstring stretch. So you're going to take one leg, put it out in front of you. Notice I'm sitting on the front of my chair. Sitting on the front of your chair makes it a little bit easier to sit straight. However, I don't want your chair to tip over. So if this is a tippy chair for you, go ahead and scooch back and just get your leg as straight as you can. So you're going to straighten that leg out on the ground. I want your torso tall again. We're stretching the back of the thigh of the leg that is straight. Those are your hamstring muscles. These guys, when they get really tight, they actually pull your pelvis down and cause your back to round. In fact, some people might be able to sit here with their leg out straight, but not be able to keep their back straight. If that's you, then I want you to bend that leg a little bit. Don't worry about getting that leg completely straight. I'd like your back straight to protect it from strain, and just get that leg as straight as you can. Some people who are more flexible can lay down on their thigh. Some people can touch their toes. I am not someone who can touch my toes, but a lot of people can, and if you can, great for you. I have very tight hamstrings, so I can't touch my toes, but that doesn't mean this is an ineffective stretch for me. I am still feeling a stretch back here. You'll feel it behind your thigh. You might even feel it down in your calf area. The more you pull your toe up, the more you'll feel it on your lower leg. Let's switch legs now. We're going to straighten out the other leg. Torso tall, shoulders down. And then you're going to gently lean forward again from the hips. Don't round your back if you can help it. Keep that torso straight. Keep that leg as straight as you can keep it. Try to keep your chin tucked in. Remember, if you pull your toes up more, you'll feel it more in your calf. I'm going to move this leg out of the way so you can see. Your hamstring muscles actually attach down on your lower leg. That's how they bend your leg. So you actually might just be feeling your tendons of your hamstring muscles. But you might also feel it in your calf. Again, your back is flat the whole time. All right, come on up. Now what we're going to do, if you have a chair that does not have arms on it, I want you to find that chair. Bring it over in front of your computer so that you can see it. And what we're going to do is scooch towards the side of the chair and a little bit on the front of the chair. And then you're going to straighten out the leg that's on the side where you're at the side of the chair. And then you can walk that leg back slightly. We're stretching out the inner thigh now. Back a little bit as far as I can. So you're stretching out your inner thigh. If you have a chair with arms, can't really do this because the arm's in the way. If you don't have any chairs without arms, you don't have to do this exercise. Stretching your hamstring, or you can cross that leg over and do the piriformis stretch again. We're stretching the inner thigh. I know this is Kathy's favorite, which is why we're doing this one today. All right, let's do the other side. I know I'm going to have to scooch my chair over to make room. Remember, you're going to scooch a little bit towards the side of your chair. Just again, a little more towards the front of your chair. And then you're going to put that leg out to your side, stretching that inner thigh. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down. You can tighten that belly, stretching out your inner thigh. Some people can put their foot on the ground. I'm not one who can do that. I'm more comfortable with the bottom of my foot facing out to the side. But we're getting a nice inner thigh stretch. Again, your torso is tall, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Flexibility is a real key to balance, because if you're super tight and you don't have the flexibility to move, that throws your balance off. It might pull you forward, make you fall backwards. All right, now we're going to do one more exercise while seated, and this is an exercise, not a stretch. My feet, And what I'd like you to do is pull your toes up. This is what it looks like from the front. I'll turn sideways. This is what it looks like from the side. You're just lifting your toes up. Toes go up and down. You're using muscles on the front of your shins, which are small muscles. I will tell you this exercise is easier to do than doing it standing. Just doing toe raises. Why are these exercises important? These exercises are important because as we get older, we sometimes lose the awareness and we don't have the strength to pull our toes up when we're walking, which is a great tripping hazard. So especially now that you're spending a lot more time at home, if you have area rugs in your home and you don't lift your toes up, that's a tripping hazard. So the more you can pull those toes up, if you're sitting and watching TV, if you're sitting at your computer, when you're sitting and eating, pull those toes up some and strengthen those shin muscles. It will make it easier when you're walking to lift those toes up. All right, now what we're going to do is lift our heels up. Looks like this from the front. Can't really see much from the front. From the side, it looks like this. This tends to be an easier exercise. We tend to have more range of motion, although not everybody. If you've had ankle issues, sprains or breaks or ankle replacements, you don't have this range of motion. Might find that one foot is more flexible than the other and has a greater range of motion. But that's something you'll need to be aware of when you're walking. It will impact your balance. Now we're going to get crazy and do toes and heels. Toes. I want you to think about sitting up straight with your chest up, your shoulders down, and your belly tight. Whenever you sit, not just when you're with me, but when you're at your computer, when you're eating, you tend to end up like this, sitting with our pushy tush instead of on the bottom of our pelvis. And when you're on the bottom of your pelvis, it helps your back to be more of a neutral straight. Still doing your toes and your heels. Okay, we're going to take those to standing exercises that are exactly the same. So let's stand up, chair back out of the way. And your table or your chair or both, you're now going to do the toe exercise while standing. I want you to hold on while you do this exercise because people have a tendency to lock their knees and fall backwards. So really consciously bend those knees slightly and then lift those toes up. Lift those toes up. It's not going to move your body much, but you're using these muscles way down on your shins to pull those toes up. So it's even more important to practice this exercise while standing because that is very functional for walking. Every step you take, you want to make sure you're lifting up those toes so that you don't trip over something. So let's practice it with our feet down first. Lift those toes, lift those toes. All right, then the next exercise is going to be lifting your heels. Heel raises. You'll notice your body can move a lot more with that. Some people can do it where they're raising up their heels and they're not moving their bodies. I want you to actually move your body because that's building strength in those muscles because you're pushing your body weight up and down as opposed to just bending and lifting those heels up. Push your body weight up and down. Now let's alternate between the two. Make sure you're holding on, especially when you lift those toes. Make sure your knees are unlocked. The tendency of most people is to lock those knees. I want them unlocked. Chest up, shoulders down, belly tight, toe raises, and heel raises. All right, now what I'd like you to do is get up on those toes, give me a little left and right, walking. So you're practicing walking up on those toes. Got your apparatus, whether it be a table or a chair, in front of you. And we're going to try it on our heels. Again, make sure you've got something to hold on to. So you've got your toes up, and you're practicing walking sideways with those toes up. Your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Why do I say that over and over again? Because this is how we sometimes end up, especially when something is challenging our brain. We forget that we want to keep our good posture. All right, let's march those legs. Okay, one more thing I want to do with that toe up idea is I want you to, start over here, I want you to lift your toes up, lift your leg up high, and step to the side. Then you're going to lift the toes of the other foot, move my leg back, Lift that leg up and bring it over. So you're lifting your toe first, then you're lifting your leg up over something that might be in your way. Lift, step over, lift, step over. I'm going to demonstrate it from the front now. Lift your toes up off the leg you're going to lift. Step over. Lift your toes up. Lift, step over. You can use a wall. You can use a chair on either side of you. Reach. Lift and reach. Lift and reach. Reach. I'm just demonstrating from the front. I still want you holding onto your chair or your table or whatever you've got there. Lift and step. Lift and step. Lift and step. Step. All right. Let's march those legs. Next on our agenda, let me see how much time we have left. We're starting to run out of time a little bit. Okay. So what I'd like to do next is a one-leg balance. So you're going to hold on to your chair. You're going to stand on your inside leg. You're going to think of the four corners on the bottom of your foot. You're going to bend this knee slightly. You're going to have your torso tall, your shoulders down. You're going to tighten your belly, your buttock, and your thigh of the leg you're standing on. And then you're just going to lift the other leg up. And what I'd like to do is I'd like for us to shoot for doing that for a minute. So I've got my watch set. You can put this leg wherever you want, whatever's comfortable for you. Ready, get set, lift that leg up, and we're going to count for a minute. So what are we thinking about? We're thinking about the four corners on the bottom of the leg we're standing on. We're thinking about keeping this thigh soft, but having, not the thigh soft, excuse me, the knee soft, but your thigh and your glute are tight, your abs are tight, your chest is up, your shoulders are down. If you find this to be easy, you could add movement to your outside leg. You could add movement to that outside arm. Move things around and challenge your balance. You can try letting go of your apparatus. And if you lose your balance, you put your foot down. Or you can grab your apparatus again. And you're just working on challenging your balance. This knee has a slight bend in it. Think of the four corners on the bottom of that foot. Keep your chest up, your shoulders down, and your belly tight. This thigh and glute are tight as well. You are strong and capable. Just working on balance. All right, we are done. March your legs. All right, turn around or move your chair so you can hold on with the other arm, because I would like you to, when you're balancing, I'd like it to be your outside leg that you're lifting up, so that if you fall towards the side where the leg is down, you've got something to hold on to. If you fall this way, you can always put your foot down. But if you fall this way, you can't. So I want you to have something near you that you can use for balance. Okay, your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Your knee is soft. Your thigh and glute are tight. Think about the four corners on the bottom of this foot. Ready, get set, lift up your other leg. Think about those four corners and balance. Again, your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. You're standing still. If you lose your balance, you put your foot down. You're holding onto that chair gently, or you could try picking your fingers up off of it. And if you need some extra balance challenge, you could move that leg around. Remember to keep your chest up, your shoulders down, your belly tight the whole time. This thigh is tight, this glute is tight, and this knee is soft. You've got those four corners on the bottom of that foot that you are evenly distributing your weight on. You're just adding challenge, whatever that looks like for you. You can still be holding on. Just challenge yourself. Keep those four corners, keep this knee soft. Thigh tight, these glutes tight, and your abs tight the whole time. We've got 3 more seconds. 2, 1, march your legs. Good work, everybody. Let's see how much time we have left. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do another balance activity where we're going to put one foot directly in front of the other foot, and then we're going to work on balance that way. I'd like to have you do this with something by your side. So I'm going to stand facing this way, and I've got my chair here by my side to help me with my balance. So one foot is in front of the other, with the heel of this foot touching the toes of this foot. And then what we're going to do is close our eyes. So your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. I want you to think of the four corners on the bottom of this foot and the four corners on the bottom of this foot, and evenly distribute your weight on those 8 corners. Ready? As I lose my balance. Here we go. Close those eyes. Chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Think about whether or not you have more weight on your back leg or your front leg. If you have more weight on one leg, shift so that you have your weight evenly distributed on both legs as best you can. Try not to white knuckle it, but keep your fingertips on that chair or table or countertop or wall, and you're working on balance evenly on those two legs. What we're trying to figure out when we close our eyes when we do things is your proprioception, or your awareness of your body in space. You want to be able to feel the floor through the bottom of both feet. You want to feel what your ankles are doing, what your knees are doing, how your hips are involved. You want to keep your torso over your body. I don't want you to be leaning back or leaning forward. You want to stay neutral for another 10 seconds until I open my eyes, because I knew there was 10 seconds left. Keep your eyes. Okay, chest up, shoulders down, belly tight. You can open your eyes too whenever you need to. All right, we're going to switch legs. Don't turn around, just put the other leg in front. I have discovered that when people turn around, they forget which leg was in front. Okay, your chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. You have your weight equally distributed on both feet. Think of those 8 corners, 4 on this foot, 4 on this foot. Ready, get set, close your eyes. Try to have your torso over your hips dissecting between the knees. Your hips are over the junction between your toes and your heels. Think about evenly distributing your weight on both feet. If you're leaning back on your back foot, put a little bit more weight towards your front foot. Chest is up, your shoulders are down, your belly is tight. Balance. We are halfway through our minute. Remember, pay attention to what your feet are feeling, what your ankles are doing. Pay attention to where you are in space. Try to take out your eyes and learn to balance without using them. I don't want you walking around with your eyes closed, but if you practice with your eyes closed in a comfortable setting, you will be more aware of your body in space in any setting. And we are done. All right, march those legs. Okay, so those were 2 balance exercises where you're really working on where you are in space, being aware of what your body's doing without your eyes. Now we're going to use our eyes and challenge our balance with our eyes open. I'm going to have you stand holding onto your apparatus with one hand. The other hand's going to go in front of you. And what I want you to do is follow that hand, left and right. Think about where you are in space and follow that hand. If it makes you dizzy to do this exercise, this might be something that would make you dizzy, Kathleen. If it does, you get to stop doing it. You're just going to follow that hand. It actually is making me dizzy, so I'm going to stop doing it, but you can keep doing it. Then what you're going to do is switch and hold on with the other hand, so you change things up a bit. And then you're going to have your feet evenly distributed, and you're going to watch that hand. So now you're using your eyes, but I still want you to pay attention to where you are in space as you follow that hand and move your head. And again, if it makes you dizzy, stop. You don't need to keep doing it. And if it's not making you dizzy, you can keep going. And you're turning that head, and you're using your eyes to follow your hand, but you still have to concentrate on what your body is doing balance-wise. Look down here real quick and see how many minutes we have left. Okay. I don't want to use up too much time. Okay, so next on our agenda, we did that. Oh, okay. Another thing that we're going to do while we move our hands around is we're going to be in that lunge position. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get yourself with one foot in front, one foot behind. This time you don't have to go with as long of a lunge. You do want to be hip width apart. And what I'd like you to do is you've got your chair to your side. I want you to reach up and reach down. And reach up and reach down. And you're going to move that arm and follow that arm with your eyes. Up across one side, down to the other side. Up across to one side, and down to the other side. Again, if that's making you dizzy, then just move that arm and don't follow it with your eyes. That will still challenge your balance differently. Then we're going to go up to the other side. So you're going to go up. If you went up to your right and down to your left, you're now going to go up to your left and down to your right. You don't have to bend those legs too too much, but you've got a long stride front to back, but not a super long stride. Again, if you can watch that hand and it doesn't make you dizzy, do. But if it does, just move that arm. You're changing your balance, you're shifting your body weight, and you're working on balancing while doing that. All right, now we're going to switch legs. So we're going to put the other leg in front. And I want you to, if you can, to leave your chair. I'm just going to switch chairs. To start with the other arm first, and you're changing how you're balancing. So now you're going to start up to one side and down to the other. Again, you don't need to move too far, and you don't have to follow that hand with your eyes. Look straight ahead. We're just changing the balance. I want you to white knuckle it with the hand that's holding on to your chair or your table. You've just got it there for balance if you need it. If you want to try it without, you can. And you're in that front to back position. All right, and then you're going to take that same arm, and you're going to go up to the other side, and down, and up, and down. Remember, you can watch it if you can, but you also don't have to. And you're shifting your weight to challenge your balance. If you want, you can try to let go, but I want you to have your hand near a stable object so that if you need it, you have it up and down. All right, bring your legs together. We're going to do one more stretch, and then we are done. When we're in that position, you use your calf muscle quite a bit. And we used it quite a bit today, so I want to stretch that as well. We did our seated stretches, which you can also do again now. The seated piriformis, and the hamstring, and the inner thigh. Now we're going to do calf stretches. So, standing holding on to your chair or your table, you're going to take one leg and put it behind you. You're going to straighten out that leg. Have your front leg bent, roll your shoulders back and down. We're stretching the top part of the calf of the leg that is back. That heel is down on the ground. You're just going to hang there and stretch it out. Then what you're going to do is, keeping that heel down, bend that back leg slightly. Your leg may bend more than mine. It may not bend as much as mine. That's okay. We're not here to compare. I'm just a demonstration to show you what it looks like when you bend that knee slightly. We're stretching now a little bit lower down that calf, a little deeper towards your bone. You might feel both through your Achilles or the bottom of your heel. I feel this one more through my heel. Let's switch sides. Back leg is straight, back heel is down. Roll your shoulders back and down. Keep that back leg straight. Stretch out that calf. And then bend that knee slightly. Hit the other calf muscle. Try to keep those shoulders down. That stretch. Bring your leg up. I hope you had a good balance workout. I hope you will practice these exercises on your own, anytime, and I hope you'll see me back at the Y soon. Take care. Thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.